Hi, I'm Jenny Walterman, and this is my Module 1 introduction video for EDL851. I am an educator at heart. I was raised by educators, and so I've always been hardwired that way. I'm a mom and a wife and a grandma. We have 2 young granddaughters now, and I love to garden. I spend a lot of time outside, spring through fall, in my gardens. And I'm a musician. I was a music teacher first before I became a business teacher, and both of my parents were elementary music teachers for over 40 years. So I grew up in a very musical house, and both my husband and I are musicians, and we play in a band together. And that's very much still a part of my life, but not what I teach in school anymore. I love to read. These days, I'm so active in the garden, I usually am listening to an audiobook. Some people might think that's cheating at reading, but I still consider it reading. And also, I love when I get a chance to get out in the kayak and fish for a while and just be in the silence and enjoy that moment when I can find it. I work professionally. My life, I work at Paola High School, which is a rural town south of Kansas City, about 45 minutes. I teach business, and I teach a bunch of different subjects. I teach accounting, college accounting, finance, marketing, entrepreneurship, business law, and I created a workplace internship program at our school where we send seniors that apply for the program. They go out into the workforce in businesses that partner with us to provide internship experience, and so they will come to school for half the day and then leave and go to their internship for the other half of the day and get some really valuable, meaningful work experience. And I'm just really proud of that because it's something I'm really passionate about, and it's been my baby project the past few years. In addressing the assignment requirements for today, we're going to talk about collaborative professional culture strategies that are designed to support different aspects that are mentioned in the standard utilized for today. So I'll just jump right in. We'll talk about professional culture strategies designed to support improvement. So when we're thinking about improvement, you want to consider the effectiveness of teacher evaluations. And one of the readings mentioned how it used to be not a very good measurement of teacher performance. Everybody got a really high grade, so to speak, and so it wasn't really identifying opportunities for improvement. And so there are new standards now, as mentioned on the slide, and I think it's important to find evaluative tools that are meaningful and can provide clear feedback. I think that being provided feedback and framing it in an appropriate way where it provides personal growth or professional growth and opportunities to improve is always beneficial, and we need to be giving valuable information that is meaningful. I think continued improvement of staff development will benefit both the teacher and the student in an enriching way. When we improve the teacher, we, by extension, improve the class, right? And so both of them will benefit from striving to have an improvement in staff development, teacher training, good, effective teacher hires that are retained. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. And I also put in here that improving the school culture to provide a positive work environment for your staff helps build an intrinsic motivation to perform better. And I wanted to mention that because I think when we're striving for improvement, when we're trying to increase the productivity or the quality of work that we are getting from our staff, it's important to recognize that the culture and the environment of the building are going to either draw your staff into a place of wanting to strive to aim higher, or the opposite. So then collaborative professional culture strategies designed to support retention. This was by far the most informational part of this assignment for me. On a side note, I think it's really important to consider the cost of retention, not just the teacher turnover rate and that cost, which is very costly, but also the cost to students when we have new teachers coming in and out of the building all the time, and that continuity of consistency of teacher teams working together to provide the best product. the best education experience to the students that we can. There is a cost to that, and I think it's important to recognize that. I think equipping teachers better to know how to manage difficult situations will help with retention. This kind of fight or flight type situation, of course, we're not really fighting, but it is important to know how to address stressful situations. And I think that jumped out at me because I worked in a urban high school before I went to a rural high school. So I had a major culture shock there going from one extreme to the other. But downtown Kansas City, Kansas, high school where I taught, you have to know how to handle hard situations and have hard conversations and be able to deal with that. And sometimes you would see people leave right away and not want to stay in that environment. And I think it's due to we need to equip our teachers how to be able to do that, because I don't think there's that many classes, if any, on that in their college experience. And on a side note, I mentioned the quote from Torres that there's a rise in the number of teachers leaving hard to staff schools. And Torres qualified that, mentioning, what falls under the purview of hard to staff, which is more rundown areas, difficult conflicts in the community, other things that they mentioned. So it's important to, if we're going to hire teachers and want to retain them, to work in that environment. And it's important to equip them to be successful in that environment. I think teacher development for new hires is essential, along with helping to build a unified and supportive faculty that is coming alongside new teachers so that they don't feel like they're floating in an island on their own. And that can also make a teacher want to leave if they feel like they don't have any resources or support. So engaging in activities such as job shadowing, professional development, weekly check-ins to help new teachers feel like they have access to mentorship and support is a key strategy to help retain teachers. Utilizing evaluative measures that are meaningful and provide real information for reflection and growth to new teachers. I think you'll see in my slides as I'm going from one section to another, I feel like some of these really are interdependent on each other. And so when you talk about retention, you have to talk about leadership and instruction. And so I will mention that a little bit. Anyway, taking care of teachers helps improve teacher retention. The culture and environment matter in the workplace, very much so, and teachers need to feel supported, valued, and part of the team. This helps boost morale and improving a sense of well-being and teacher retention. Ultimately, when I was thinking about this and reflecting on some of these articles, I think everything comes down to student success, right? Retaining teachers that will continue to engage, develop relationships with their students will help bridge that gap of academic achievement, which ultimately will lead to progress in the classroom, which is what we all want to see. So then moving on, collaborative professional culture strategies designed to support learning. And when we address strategies to help support learning, I was taking the approach of learning for the staff. How do we help the staff learn how to do their job more effectively? Okay, so providing support and encouragement is important. Opportunities to grow will be better received if the staff trust their principal to be open, honest, and fair. I think that we have all, maybe I shouldn't assume, but I have been in buildings where the administration has not been as forthright as they could have been, or they address the whole room regarding an issue when it really just needs to be a conversation with one person. So I think trusting your principal to address things, be open, honest, and fair, and have conversations with the people that need to have conversations, and don't bring the morale of the group down for a few, right? Utilize team environment to help promote deeper engagement and professional development that is meaningful is another tool that can be used as strategy. And learning new teaching strategies, helping your teachers to discover new ways to teach the same old thing, can be very helpful in group environments and prompt teachers to see new ways to be impassioned about their job. Training methods and the mode of communication, when training staff, whether it's in person or online, can make an impact on learning engagement and the amount of information being retained. So in the research study about different training methods and whether it was in person or online didn't matter quite as much as the level of engagement and the subject matter, and if the teachers felt like they were being drawn into what was being discussed. All right, collaborative professional culture strategies designed to support well-being. And, excuse me, I'll just jump right in. Positive and productive work cultures is a result of a transparent environment. So going back to previously, if we're going to help our teachers grow and be part of a learning community where they themselves are continually learning, we also need to be mindful of a positive environment where they feel like they can be transparent and open about maybe a weakness or something they want to get better on, so that we can help them without feeling like they will be attacked or have anxiety about that situation. Open communication between departments and between administration and staff is a key one for the emotional well-being and mental stability of your staff. Creating a positive work environment is essential for an employee's emotional well-being. I'm so sorry. Celebrating the wins and achievements to let your staff know that they are needed and essential to the community. Practicing mindfulness and encouraging staff to be open to discussing stressful situations with each other. And maybe establishing a mental health day or a mentorship type experience where people can feel like they're not alone and they can share the stressors that they're going through. I'm going to go on because I've been struggling with a cough lately, honestly, and I can't get through this video without it. So I apologize. The standard that was being addressed for this assignment is component 7.2, which is develop and engage staff in a collaborative professional culture designed to promote school improvement, teacher retention, and the success and well-being of each student and adult in the school. And that's what we've been addressing here. So my statements about the standard correlation. This assignment relates to the NS 7.2 standard because the materials reviewed provide new information to consider and evaluate. When considering how to help improve teacher professional learning, ensuring they feel safe and open to discuss opportunities for growth is essential. Teacher retention was discussed in a different manner than I'm used to. Usually I hear more about the budget and finances being the reason why teachers leave their positions, but even so, the assigned readings addressed how equipping teachers for success, providing meaningful professional mentorships, collaborative and dynamic learning communities, and addressing mental health issues can help make teachers feel safe and want to remain in their current position. The relevant aspects of this standard, this assignment helped to enhance my understanding of how to ensure more meaningful learning and improvement of teacher performance in a manner that is meaningful, while also being mindful of how such demands can impact a teacher's mental health. I agree with Gohill that if an administration focuses on teacher well-being, it will improve retention in the schools. And then finally, my personal reflection. I believe that this assignment will help me in the future to be aware of the careful balance needed to challenge staff to be excellent and bring about excellence in their students, while also recognizing that I must provide learning opportunities to help equip this success, building a bridge for new teachers to help them know how to access resources and the wisdom of more seasoned teachers. Along with all of this, I think it's important to be able to read the room. So important to read the room and know when your staff needs to be built up and have an encouraging word for their mental health rather than being reminded of all the things that they missed the mark on. So that is my presentation. Here are my references for my 5 citations. And thanks for watching and sticking through this video. If you've stayed this long, I will see you in the community, and hopefully my next video I won't be coughing through the whole thing. I apologize for that. See y'all later.